time for another unboxing video. Yes, we have guitar and case, although I don't know that this guitar will fit in this case. I didn't buy them together with that in mind. I just thought of it a few minutes ago. I said, hey, I have this case. Maybe this guitar will fit into this case. Does that make it a yee-haw moment? I guess it does. So anyway, let's get started. Yeah! Jeepers creepers, now the lights? Will this ever end? We got a little something extra this time.
By the way, everybody, we is live.
By the way, everybody, we is live. Friends, we is live. Live. It has happened again. Here we are, back in the studio. It's actually the garage, but I call it a studio because, hey, it's the best I can come up with right now, but that's the way it goes. Did you hear that? That was the air conditioning kicking in. And why is the air conditioning kicking in? I'll tell you. Because it is the very beginning of the summer of 2025, and we're in the middle of a big heat wave. I can feel it. I'm sitting here right now, and I can feel how hot it is. In this shirt, which is it's a long sleeve thermal. Why I'm wearing that, I don't know. But nonetheless, it's a heat wave right now. It's been in the 90s the last few days. It's expected to get into that again today. And what do we have here? But an ice cold can of Polar Lime seltzer water. Let's crack this open, as it is traditional to do so in these unboxing videos. And we've got a couple of things to open here, and we'll jump right into that in just a moment. Ah! Love that sound. Here we go. Down the hatch.
Down the hatch. This stuff has a kick.
Anyway, moving on. I'll just put this over here for the moment. We've got a little something extra this time. I'm very, very excited about this. It's what's in this bag right here. And what it's supposed to be is a t-shirt that says Kansas, from the rock band Kansas. So let's just open this up. We're not going to delay this at all. Okay. Here we go. And voila.
Carry on my wayward son.
Kansas. It's blurry. How do you like that? I bought this off of Temu. Sometimes, why do I do this? Why do I buy these things? Can you see that? It's just kind of blurry and out of focus. And,
That really sucks.
that's not because I need new contact lenses, although I do need new contact lenses. This is because it was a cheap t-shirt. I was going to put it on, but because it's blurry like that, two things. Number one, I'm not going to put it on. And number two, I'm not buying any more t-shirts off of Temu. And by the way, this thing was only $5 or $6, but come on, guys. You can do better than that. So without any further delay, let's get on with this and enjoy what we have in here. This is an IYV-IJZ-300. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. It's a popular guitar. There is a cousin or brother guitar to this that's bigger. I've never had an IYV before, but I've never heard anything bad about these guitars, which come out of Vietnam. People like them. They like these guitars. They say they're well made. At any rate, let's jump into this. I'm psyched. This is Monday. I don't have to be at work today, but this arrived last Thursday, and I've been waiting for a good opportunity to open this up and check it out. I'm looking if there's a return address here. No return address, but it came from Amazon, if you're interested in knowing that. And by the way, if you notice the packaging here, what I tend to do is when I buy a guitar, as I'm waiting for it to arrive in the mail or right after it arrives and before I do the unboxing, I will go to the internet and I will watch videos of people doing unboxings on the very guitar that I bought. And there's been a lot of commentary about the packaging on this particular guitar. And I don't know if it's that way for all IYV guitars, but people say, hey, look, man, this looks pretty skimpy on the packaging. You know, this is a brand new guitar. Nobody in the world wants to buy a brand new guitar and have it damaged on arrival.
No! God, please, no!
Nein, Gott, bitte, nein!
No! Dio, ti prego, no!
No, tú, por favor, no! No, pasa, no, no!
Hayır tanrım lütfen hayır.
You see what I mean? Okay, so anyway, let's open this up and see what we're dealing with here. I'll put this right here. All right. However, I will say, all the people who did do unboxings on this, in spite of the packaging, everybody says their guitar turned out okay. All right, so there is styrofoam here. And styrofoam here. A lot of styrofoam. This styrofoam is stuck to the inside. We've got this. That right there. Okay, and there's even one of those. It's called Desiccant Silica Gel. Throw away, do not eat. Well, I was taking Elizabeth out to dinner later today anyway, so I guess I won't have this as an appetizer. Anyway, I see there's an Allen wrench here at the top, which I don't want to lose. I'll put that over here, and let's get to it. All right. One rubber band. Well, it has a serial number. It has a serial number at the top here. It says made in Vietnam, which we know IYV guitars to be. made in Vietnam. This is a semi-hollow body guitar, and I've never had a semi-hollow body guitar or a hollow body. Now, Elizabeth's mother gave me an old Epiphone, which I think is from the 1920s. It belonged to her father, and that is an acoustic hollow body. You know, the real deal, and I'm talking very early old school. And that's away in storage. Let me get this out of the way. And let me take this packaging off the strings. There we go. I tell you, from what I see so far, this is pretty beautiful. And everybody has been saying that it's an extremely beautiful guitar. Can I get this? All right. Let's undo this, slip it out from underneath the strings. Wow. Well, it looks just like what you see. It looks like what you see in the other videos. The reason why I'm pausing is because I see plastic on this pickup and not on that pickup. And I'm not detecting plastic on the pick guard. And you know what? This happened the last time I bought a guitar from Amazon. It came with no Allen wrench, and I had determined that I thought it was a guitar that had been sent to somebody. They sent it back to Amazon and sent it out to me. And the question is, why would you have plastic over one pickup and not over the other pickup if it weren't in fact a guitar? I don't know. It was all wrapped up. The strings were all wrapped up with this. Maybe it's still a brand new guitar. Truth, I really don't care. So, here's something interesting. It is a sunburst on the back. It's a very dark sunburst, tobacco burst. Some people are saying like I saw this one video from the guy, what's his name? Is it Jimmy Stewart, the guitar guy? He said his came with an all black back to it. And this doesn't look quite like the picture on Amazon, because the picture in the ad had this at a brighter color. But I'm not complaining, because I think this is beautiful. I think it looks really very, very nice. It's a set neck, some kind of a mark there on the neck. I'm not sure if I can get I think I got it out. It was just a little something on the finish, but it came out. And voila, this is, I think, a very attractive guitar. I don't know if it's used or not. Toggle switch seems firm. Tuning knobs are about exactly what you would expect. And again, I'm not being pessimistic. I mean, from the hollow bodies and what little I know about them, you would expect these knobs to feel a certain way when you turn them, and that's what I'm feeling. So there's no surprise to that. The frets are very nice. They're not sharp, and they're not, I mean, you can feel them as you run your fingers along the side, but nothing that would seem problematic, nothing that necessarily means you got to take time out and refile them or anything. Way out of tune. Action's low. I'm not sure what kind of wood this is in the fretboard, but it's pretty. And these tuners, They're not loose. Let me get the camera over here and show you what we're looking at here. All right, now you see the headstock? On some of these guitars from IYV, and I mean this particular guitar, you would have some kind of writing here on the truss rod plate. And I thought it looked like Vietnamese writing, but it was hard to tell on the internet. But there's nothing on there. That's just blank, and that's okay. No problem there. And look at these inlays. I got a bug crawling on me. It's a spider. Well, it's summertime. Anyway, look at these inlays. You see how pretty that is? Isn't that nice? And then you come down here, and or right there anyway. It's a double on the 12th fret. And you come down here, and there you see no plastic on the pickup, and you come down here, and there's the plastic. And there's no plastic on this pick guard, and usually there is. That kind of makes me think it's a used guitar. But once again, I'm not worried about it. I think it's nice. Very pretty. Attractive. It's handsome. It's a handsome guitar. Now, moving on, let's find out if that guitar case can hold this guitar. Now, once again, I did not buy that guitar case for this guitar. I didn't. I actually bought it for a different guitar. But I won't lie to you, it's very pretty, and it looks very, very nice, and it looks like it's going to be just marvelous to play. And what do we mean when we say marvelous? We mean something to marvel at, something that grabs your attention, and it becomes a sense of wonder. And that's what I anticipate it will be with this guitar, because with all the videos that I watched online, people aren't complaining about it. You're not getting negative reviews. Everybody seems to like this guitar. They like the action. They like the look. They like the feel. They like the playability. They like the bang for the buck because, well, I got free shipping because I'm on Amazon Prime. But with tax, this was only $205. That's not bad, you guys. That's not bad at all. So let me just put this over here for a moment. And let's bring this guitar case onto the table. Cheers, shall we? Cheers to a new guitar.
This stuff has a kick.
And by the way, I crushed the can in a nod to Quint from the movie Jaws, because this summer is the 50-year anniversary of the movie Jaws. And if you go onto YouTube, there's a lot of Jaws stuff floating around right now.
Jesus H. Christ. Hey, Chief, let's drop another chum marker.
And about 2 months ago, or a month and a half or so, YouTube was showing Jaws for free on the channel called YouTube Movies. So I got to watch the movie again recently. One of my favorites. All right. This guitar case, it was made in China, and it says KTAXON. Kataxon. I'm guessing. I don't know. It's an English equivalent to some name in Chinese. But I guess I thought when I bought this it was going to be a Glary guitar case. And as we've talked about before, Glary does not make bad guitar cases. They don't. For about 50 bucks, you can get a really nice guitar case from Glary, and it does the trick. It protects the guitar. That's what we all want, to protect our investment. And this guitar case was only about 50 bucks. And it looked good in the ad on Temu. This came from Temu. And as I've said before, I'm trying to get a guitar case for every guitar so that it's protected. I'm not concerned about taking it to gigs and playing out in public because I don't do that. I play for myself, for my mind, for my heart, for my soul, for my well-being, for the sense of adventure and creativity. That's why I'm playing guitar. It's a challenge, and as you two said in their movie, Rattling Home, it's a musical journey, and that's exactly what this is.
What's this film about?
Sort of a musical journey, really.
A musical journey, and hey, I wish I had the talent to be in a band. I wish I knew music theory. I wish I knew my way around the fretboard, but it's a hobby, you know, and it's something that I start each morning out. I mean, I've already played for about at least a half an hour or 45 minutes this morning because that's how I like to start the day. It's my tabula rasa, Tabula Rasa, and that means a clean slate. And it's a great way to just level everything out and start fresh each morning. I do that with the creativity of playing music. And, you know, I'm no genius guitar player at all. You know, all you guys on YouTube are better guitar players than I am. I'm just going to say that. You know, but anyway, let's see what we have here. All right. And you know what? I thought this was going to be a different looking case. I can already tell this is like the other ones that I have that are like this. And like this, what I mean is a rectangle instead of a special case that's for a Les Paul, or like over here I have a case for the Firebird. But this is like the others. This is the dust cloth. And you know what? It looks exactly like the other cases that I have that are rectangular. I see a little mark from the shipping, but you know, I'm not petty about these things because all I care about is protecting the guitar. It's for around the house. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, it's the same type of thing. Boy, you can smell the new. You can smell how new this is. See, it's a nice guitar case. Very beautiful. I always point this out. It's very plush in here. It's as if it were big enough, you could just crawl in there and go to sleep. A very nice coffin for the guitar. A place for strings, truss rod, whatever else it might be. And it locks. Right there's the key. And if you look, the seam where it closes is nice and even. Very, very nice. And like I said, 50 bucks. 50 bucks to protect your investment. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, let's just see if this fits in here. which I'm not expecting it to. It does not, but that's okay. I have a guitar I can put in here. As a matter of fact, watch this. I'll be right back. Make sure nobody takes this away. Remember this right here? This is a Fender Squier Sonic Telecaster. The one that I thought was used. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I thought was used. And watch. See? That's actually the one that I bought this case for. And that's okay. I'll just get a different one for the new guitar. And by the way, while we're talking about this guitar, let me tell you, this right here, this Squier Sonic Telecaster, it's a pretty good guitar, I have to say. I thought it, you know, I thought maybe the maple neck, it looked like one of the cheaper, lower end versions of that. But you know what? Like I said, it turned out to be better than I thought it would. It plays really nice. I mean, it's easier to articulate what you're playing on this guitar than it is on some of the others that I have. And some of those others are the Gibson Les Pauls. Not Gibson, but Gibson, a Chinese-made Gibson, you know, the copy, the replica guitars. That's a whole different discussion for a whole nother time. I'm just trying to say that this wound up being a really nice guitar, and I bought this case for it, and it turned out to be an exact fit. So that's one more guitar case off the list. And as we usually say at the end of these videos, that's all, folks.
That's all, folks.